Ironic, considering that this used to be our parking lot, right? So here to tell us all about what's going on in our new CARSLAND, please welcome executive producer and vice president from Walt Disney Imagineering. This is Kathy Mangum.
Yay!
Hi, Kathy.
Hey, good morning. How's everyone today?
Good.
So, CARSLAND. I think by now you know that we're opening in 2 years, in 2012. So we just wanted to update you on where we've been since we've last had a chance to talk and what's happening on site now. CARSLAND, we are so proud of. It is going to be one of those classic Disney experiences. We're going to immerse our guests and actually transport them to another place, and that's the world of Cars. We're doing that in this 12-acre expansion of Disney California Adventure that will contain 3 new rides, a couple merchandise opportunities, and great food locations. Here's a little shot of what the downtown is going to look like at night. We've laid the street out exactly in the same order as the movie, so it should feel very, very familiar to people. But in this case, you'll be able to walk down the street and go into some of the locations that you didn't get to go into in the movie. So we've got a lot of really rich detail, including all this neon that we're recreating from the film. So at night, I think it's just going to be a spectacular, spectacular land. This is an architectural model that we put together at Imagineering because we were laying it out and we've got a movie to follow, but one thing we really needed to be concerned with and aware of is what is the right scale, the right human scale for all of these buildings. So we could put a head-mounted display on and virtually walk down the street, walk down Route 66 and make sure we were pleased with the placement of all the buildings and what the sizes are. Now, this is a very pastel look at the world. It's not going to look like that. The color will be the same as from the film. But you see we had Fillmore's Taste Inn next to Sarge's Surplus Hut. Here are the cozy cones where you'll be able to walk up to each cone and get a different snack food. You'll be able to get cone on the cob, chili cone carne, and so on. We've had a lot of fun with that. Here's Flo's V8 Cafe, great food location, and the food that will be served here is all sort of inspired by the great food you get on Route 66. Luigi's Casa de la Tires, we can't leave that out. That's the home to one of our rides, Luigi's Flying Tires, that we'll update you on in a minute. And then the continuation of the downtown buildings all the way down to the courthouse. And then once you reach the courthouse, you hang a right, and that's when you get on to enter the queue for Radiator Springs Racers, our third and certainly largest attraction. And then what we wanted to do is we just took a look back down the street to take a look at how we fit into the land, into the park, and what our views would be. And I think this will give you kind of a good idea of just how we're utilizing that parking lot, the old parking lot, and what it will do and how it fits into the rest of the park. So, I said we lay out the land exactly in the same order as the film. So out in the outskirts of town is Mater's Junkyard. And in Mater's Junkyard, we are going to have so much fun. We're installing an attraction called Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Well, you'll be able to get into your little trailer here, and you're pulled around by a baby tractor. And there's going to be 22 of these tractors out there, and they're all dancing, and they're all going around. Because what's happening is Mater, coming out of this junkyard jukebox, is singing a square dance and giving us sort of a hoedown do-si-do. So it's one giant musically based attraction. Here's a little animatic of what some of the action will be while you're in your trailer going around. So you can see you whip to the left, you whip to the right as you change direction. You have 22 of these out there just sort of going crazy. It's going to be very, very kinetic. It is very fun. We've mocked it up, we've ridden it. It is really going to be fun. So that's on the outskirts of town and what is now the farm. Further down the street is Luigi's Casa de la Tires, and you'll be able to walk into Luigi's showroom, walk through his office, and then you go into the back into his meticulously designed Italian garden, and that's where his tire yard is. You'll go through the tire yard and you will get into your own fettuccine brand tire. And once Luigi tells Guido to turn on the air compressor, air will come on, you will be lifted up, and you will be able to fly around and move your body to the left, to the right, to change direction. As you can see, you'll be able to spin. This is actually a mock-up that we have up in Imagineering, and these are Imagineers and their kids testing this out for us. You can bump into each other. Now, the play floor is going to be 8 times the size as what's shown here. This is strictly for a mock-up. But we really wanted to play with it, make sure we got the balance right, make sure it was intuitive enough that you knew how to fly it around. And we were convinced very, very quickly by our kids that it was really a fun experience. Perfect experience for Luigi, a tire-themed attraction for Luigi. And then we have the biggest attraction, our major anchor, our e-ticket, which is Radiator Springs Racers, for the next 14 months. Here is our artisans also painting the mountain. It's going to take us another 12 months on top of that, and we will overlap each other to paint it out and give it that beautiful, beautiful red rock of the Great Southwest of the United States. Pretty spectacular. Once you board your ride vehicle, you can now go back behind this mountain, and what the ride is about, what Radiator Springs Racers is about, is you get to meet all the characters, and they basically invite you to today's big race. You can see in the upper left-hand corner a rendering of our ride vehicle that I'm going to show you in a minute, because we have one out on site. And as you turn in, the first character you come across is Mac the truck. You barely miss hitting him, you swerve, the sheriff pulls out, you think he's going to give you a ticket, but he's actually now inviting you to today's big race because he's impressed by your driving. Mater takes you into town, but he can't quite get you into town without asking you to stop and tip a tractor, because that's Mater. We tip a tractor. We make Frank mad, we wake him up, he chases us into town, where we're greeted by Lightning and Sally, who then tell us, before you go to today's big race, we've got to get you ready. Then depending on where you are in the ride, you either get new tires from Luigi, or you get a freshened paint job from Ramon. You pull forward, and here's the high-speed race. You burst out of the building, and now you're doing this race around all of the monuments, the Radiator Cap, Willie's Butte, from Ornament Valley. You're side by side with another car, and you never know who's going to win. So once you finish the high-speed race, you cross the finish line, and that's the end of Radiator Springs Racers. It's about a 4-minute attraction. We're very, very excited about this. It's that classic Disney, really, really deep storytelling. Here's a real quick little video of what the interior scenes are going to look like. This is a 1-inch model. You see they're in black light, and just really going to be spectacular before you come out of the building. Here's some home movies of something that we've been shooting with our little flip camera to show what's happening back behind the berm. We're installing the attraction, we're installing the ride. Here's some of the steel coming in. This is just one piece of what will be 3 million pounds of steel to make up this ride path. And we have finished part of it. We've completed a loop so that we put our first test vehicle on just a couple of weeks ago to test it and to take him around. And right now, our little guy is going slow speed. He obviously will be going high speed, but this is just to test. We're taking the system through its paces and just seeing what it can do. We're going to be doing this all summer. Then we'll take him off, complete the rest of the ride, and also build the rest of the vehicles. You can see the vehicle. He is not a character from the film, but he looks as though he belongs in the world of cars. It's a 6-passenger vehicle, and this was just a huge, huge milestone for us. You can see some of the rock work going in there behind him. The stainless steel lath that you're seeing, that is now all taking shape. So happy to share this with you, and so look forward to seeing you and welcoming you to our land in 2012.
Thank you, Kathy. Hey, Kathy, I have a question. We saw that big model of CARSLAND. Was that the same model that we saw at D23?
It is the same model that we showed last year.
I spent hours during that. Did you guys all catch that at D23? Yeah, that was very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Now, when CARSLAND is built, is the model going to go on eBay, or what happens to it?
No, we don't do that. We save all of our models as much as we can, but it's actually here, and we're building from it. Chances are it's going to get pretty handled and dinged up. So.
Right. Well, you got to do what you got to do.
We do.
Well, thank you for all the info. But one big round of applause.